Imagine a man who conquered the world, only to fall by his own ambition. Another, a wealthy general whose thirst for glory led to a desert of death. And yet another, who fiddled while his empire burned. These are not myths. They're the catastrophic mistakes of the most powerful men in Roman history. Today, we unravel the bizarre and shocking decisions that brought Rome's mightiest leaders to their knees. From betrayal to hubris, to a city on fire, the truth behind these colossal failures will leave you wondering, how did the most powerful empire in history crumble from within? One Julius Caesar, the dictator for life, who didn't live to see it, time period, 44 BCE, Rome location, the Roman Senate. Julius Caesar was the man who turned Rome into an empire. He expanded its borders, led his armies to unimaginable victories. But his fatal flaw? His desire to be dictator for life. In a city that prided itself on democracy, Caesar's ambition became his greatest enemy. He marched his army across the Rubicon River, declaring war on the Republic itself. Yet it wasn't his enemies on the battlefield who would kill him. It was the senators who stabbed him 23 times in the heart of Rome. Shocking twist. Caesar's closest ally, Brutus, was among the assassins. The very empire Caesar sought to rule for eternity turned on him in the most brutal betrayal in Roman history. 2. Marcus Licinius Crassus, the richest man who bought his own doom time period, 53 BCE, Eastern Roman Empire location, Parthian Desert, near Carrhae. Imagine being the wealthiest man in Rome, but it's not enough. You want power, military glory. Enter Marcus Licinius Crassus. He built his fortune on Rome's burning houses, offering to buy properties for pennies during fires, only to resell them at outrageous profits. But in his hunger for recognition, Crassus sought to rival Caesar and Pompey by invading Parthia, a superpower in the east. With over 40,000 men, he marched into the desert, blinded by greed. And then, disaster. His army was ambushed and annihilated at the Battle of Carrhae, and Crassus, the richest man in the world, was executed in the most humiliating fashion. Molten gold was poured down his throat. His greed literally became his downfall. The man who had everything ended up with nothing. 3. Nero, the emperor who watched Rome burn time period, 64 CE, Rome location, the heart of the Roman Empire Rome, the eternal city. But for Nero, Rome was nothing more than a playground for his madness. In 64 CE, a fire broke out. Rumor has it, Nero played music while his beloved city burned. As flames swallowed entire districts, the emperor saw opportunity in disaster. He built his opulent palace, the Domus Aurea, atop the ruins. But as the citizens begged for help, Nero offered none. Worse, he scapegoated the rising Christian sect, beginning one of the most infamous persecutions in history. Hook. Was it arson or political convenience? Historians are divided, but one thing's clear. Nero's madness ignited more than just flames. It sparked an era of terror and rebellion that would haunt Rome for decades. 4. Commodus, the gladiator emperor who killed Rome's prestige. Time period, 180 to 192 CE, Rome location. The Colosseum Commodus, son of the great philosopher king Marcus Aurelius, was meant to follow in his father's footsteps, but instead, he threw himself into the gladiator's arena. Literally. Dressed as Hercules, Commodus fought in rigged battles, indulging in his god complex while Rome fell into corruption and chaos. He neglected the empire, left governance to his corrupt cronies, and nearly bankrupted the treasury. Controversy: the Senate despised him. Commodus once renamed Rome after himself, Colonia Commodiana. His assassination in 192 CE marked the beginning of the chaotic year of 5 emperors, when the empire teetered on collapse. He wanted to be a gladiator, but he fought Rome itself. 5 Valens, the emperor who lost the battle that ended Rome's dominance time period. 378 CE, Eastern Roman Empire location. Adrianople, Thrace. Valens, the Eastern Roman emperor, faced the greatest threat of his reign, the Goths, refugees turned rebels. Instead of waiting for reinforcements from the Western Empire, Valens made a fatal mistake. At the Battle of Adrianople, he rushed into battle, grossly underestimating the Goths' strength. What followed was a bloodbath. 2/3 of the Roman army were slaughtered, and Valens himself was killed on the battlefield. Shocking fact. Adrianople wasn't just a defeat, it was the beginning of the end for the Roman Empire. The Goths would soon sack Rome itself. Valens' arrogance opened the door to invaders who would rip apart the empire piece by piece. 6. Constantine XI, the last emperor who couldn't save his city time period. 1453 CE, Byzantine Empire location. Constantinople, the Great Walls of Theodosius. The city of Constantinople stood for over 1,000 years, protected by its mighty walls, until the rise of the Ottoman Empire. Constantine XI, the last Byzantine emperor, knew the end was near. As Mehmed II and his vast army laid siege to the city, Constantine pleaded for Western aid that never came. Dramatic hook. Despite overwhelming odds, Constantine led the final defense, sword in hand. But on May 29, 1453, the unthinkable happened. The Ottomans breached the walls. Constantinople fell, and with it, the Byzantine Empire came to a crushing end. Constantine's death remains a mystery. Did he fall in battle or disappear into legend? 7. Diocletian, the emperor who tried to destroy Christianity. Time period: 284 to 305 CE. Roman Empire location. Across the Roman Empire, Diocletian was a reformer, a man who tried to save the crumbling empire by dividing it into East and West. But his biggest mistake? Trying to crush Christianity. In 303 CE, Diocletian issued the Edicts of Persecution, burning churches, scriptures, and executing thousands of Christians. But the more Diocletian tried to stamp it out, the stronger the faith grew. Twist: within a decade of Diocletian's retirement, Constantine the Great, the first Christian emperor, would embrace the religion, forever changing the Roman world. Diocletian sought to eradicate Christianity, but instead, he only accelerated its rise. From betrayal to arrogance, greed to madness, these emperors ruled the greatest empire on earth, and yet, their mistakes not only cost them their thrones, but also marked the downfall of Rome itself. What can we learn from their stories? Sometimes, the greatest enemy isn't on the battlefield. It's the ruler in power. These are the decisions that change the course of history, and not for the better.